everybody. Welcome to Unpack Your Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Perks, and we have our new anchor to the set, Chantel, just really officially became on the staff.
Co-host.
For sure.
In this bitch. That's like
why do you want to really go there? You got to cuss immediately?
Yeah, because it's not official. It's not official until you get a title, and then you could drop a profanity word.
Oh, you know is that what you want to do? You want to drop profanity
if you're too afraid to cuss at work, then you haven't passed probation yet, so it's not official. You know what I'm saying?
I heard dudes at work talking about, I was doing cocaine last night and stuff, and I'm like, we're in the office?
Yeah, they
I'm like, yo, like that's kind of...
Once you pass probation, you good.
He didn't make it. He was 2 days shy.
It's like, oh, dang.
And then tell me why he got fired.
I told you. Once you pass probation, you in that thing. But while you on probation, you come in there on time. You don't know no cuss words.
Yep, I feel you.
Hair be straight, all of that. Once you pass probation, the curls come back, everything.
you just natural yourself like,
This is me.
Oh, that's so funny.
This is me.
I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were really officially a part of this now.
Past the
really
probationary
cool. Yeah,
period.
you did. I had to audit, make sure it's cool. We're now 16. Or I think this is episode 16. Yeah, 16 episodes now. So yeah, you made it. You made the cut. You know what I mean?
Let's just hope I don't get fired.
Ooh. And I'm good at firing people. And I'm not.
I don't get fired.
But before we get started, I want to talk about my new socks I got. I'm only showing this one pair because I have two. This one is, Dragon Ball Z?
Why is his head so big? No.
First of all, it's Dragon Ball Z. These are Dragon Ball Z socks. The arch nemesis of the main character is this guy named Frieza. And I got these for my birthday a couple weeks ago. I just got them yesterday. So I want to shout out to my friend Dusty. Thank you for getting me these. I love socks and I love Dragon Ball Z. So gotta give you the plug.
If my brother was here, if my little brother was here, I'd be like, hey, what's that? And he would tell me.
No. The worst thing was when we were talking to Lee and we were talking about, anime, and we were like, yeah, something about anime. And he's like, who's anime? And I'm just like... I'm like, no, it's a cartoon. It's like a Japanese.
Who's anime?
I'm just like, bro, are you kidding me? He's like, who's anime? I'm like,
Anime Bullock. That was Tina Turner's name before she became Tina Turner. Yeah, eat the cake, anime.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want the cake, Ike.
Okay. Right, also, these socks serve as two purposes. Number one, for, obviously I want to show off my socks. But number two, these are the two elevated, let's calm down, listen socks. Okay, because I know I have a tendency to start talking and kind of go into a groove, and then we overtalk each other.
So I throw the socks at you when it's my turn?
No. So if we're getting to a point where we get too elevated, where we're both not listening to each other, one of us will grab the sock, and that sock means it's my time to talk, and we do not say anything. Listen, okay?
Got it.
That's what it's for. It's not something that happens all the time. Okay. But it's something that is for... If we get to that point, which we won't really do.
I'm going to be listening. Okay. I'm going to be listening.
So if I get to the point where I'm not listening, grab the sock back. Shut up. Look, hello. Okay. And I can calm down, read my mind, come back. Okay? Cool beans? So this is what it's for. So Frieza, evil villain, is the truth sock. So I'll leave it in the middle for both of us.
I can't reach that.
Well, that's too bad. I guess I'll just keep for my... I'll give you one.
Okay, I'll take these.
Okay. So yeah, let's get right into the topic today, because you were talking about you sent me the link about microaggressions, right? And I read it, and it was interesting because a part of me was like, I do understand it. I felt two ways, because at first I was like, damn, that is kind of like, I see that stuff happen all the time, like low key, but I think I've conditioned myself to just not pay attention to it so much that now I'm like, I don't find as much issue with it, even though it really happens. But I've had to like kind of dull myself to people's things. So one side, I'm like, yes, I agree with everything that was pretty much saying in the article, which I'll pull it up right now so we can kind of go over some of the terms.
And because, so the reason why I sent it to you is because you originally wanted to talk about like angry black men, angry black women, like the mystique, the facade,
and just kind of break it down.
Like why is like the untruths in that, right?
Right.
So the microaggressions thing was something that we talked about at work, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is why I think I have a cool job, because we have trainings like this.
Really?
Or excuse me, let me say I have a cool admin team, because they bring trainings like this to us.
Okay.
To talk about the elephant in the room.
Right. Okay. Like
which is
that kind of stuff. Okay.
That
for sure.
there's a lot of racial tension that exists in the world right now.
For
right?
sure. Yeah. 1,000.
So we have to. So as educators, if we want to be good at our jobs, we have to address the elephant in the room, and we have to do it with our students of color, right?
Yeah.
Because they're coming in, they're seeing all of this, and your silence, not bringing it up, is very detrimental.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't care.
It's perpetuating the same problem, essentially.
Well, deeper than that, if you don't bring it up, then it's like you don't care. And if you don't care about him, how can you care about me? Right? So then I have less buy-in to you as my teacher if I'm a little black or brown boy or girl.
For sure. I understand that.
And we talked about it.
Yeah, so I read it, and like I said, I was torn because a part of me was like, yeah, like I've seen this so many times in my life. I've seen where people kind of do little sly stuff, and it's like, it's not necessarily it's intentional, but it happens, and I know, but it's like you can't prove it. It's like the sly, like we're talking like when you hand someone change and they slide you in on the counter. You know,
it's subtle.
That's one.
That's why it's micro.
That's one. You know, or when you go into a store and they call security in the aisle that you're on. You know, it's subtle. Like, you can't prove that is because of you, but you kind of know. You know, but the other part of me was also like, why am I giving anybody enough credit to bother me in that sense either? Because I don't even have to worry about what you really think about me, anyways. So that's the other side, because the one part of me is like, I agree, and the other part of me is like, I just don't care enough to even go there. Like,
so do you have your phone or the article?
I'll pull it.
Go ahead and
because there's some terms that I wanted to bring up too on that.
Like, go ahead and tell the people like what a microaggression is. Okay. Like the actual definition of it.
Yeah, because they had a few. There was a few terms that they use. Right. Microaggression was one. What's the other one? Let me see.
There are three of them. Yeah,
there's three. So microaggressions, micro insults, and micro invalidations. Okay, so and let me go to where they explain each one, because we can kind of piggyback off each definition and kind of see, you know, what's true and not true. Let's see here. 1 second. Oh, they have something called aversive racism.
Yeah. I love that one. Aversive racism that's like my favorite thing. So first of all, I love reading shit like this.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, because I was reading, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
It actually made me want to go look up the Asian girl and read all of her studies that she wrote on this particular issue. But it was really good.
Okay, so here we go. So there's micro assaults, micro insults, and micro invalidations, which they're all the coined term for microaggressions.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with micro assaults for. Micro assaults. They are conscious and intentional actions or slurs, such as using racial slurs, or displaying swastikas, or deliberately serving a white person before a person of color in a restaurant. So essentially, like a race, like calling you the N-word, or like a
this is like
derogatory
racism.
Like, you know, they're being racist.
Yes.
Intentional. There's no way you can say.
It's no covering this up.
Right, for
like,
sure.
It's very clear that you possess these biases.
For sure, yeah.
Very clear, right? Like somebody walking around with a conservative flag.
Yeah, on the truck or something like that.
Not a conservative, a Confederate flag on their truck, right? It's like, all right, you liked slavery.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's what I pulled from that, right?
Yeah,
There's no way to
misconstrue
that signal or that sign. You liked slavery.
Yeah, pretty much,
I'm a black person. I would have technically been the slave, so
you're saying
my life is
slaves.
Valuable only as a slave, right?
Right.
That's what the Confederate flag means to me, right?
Understood,
so that's like overt. You can't hide that.
Yeah, and it's very in your face. It's very blunt. Very for sure is intentionally for you. So it's more of like an intentional thing.
Yes,
you know, for sure. So then we have micro insults, and this is a verbal or nonverbal communications that subtly convey rudeness or insensitivity and demean a person's racial heritage or identity. An example of this is an employee who asked a colleague of color how she got her job, implying she may have landed it through an affirmative action or a quota system.
Okay. Now that example was a little bit deep, because I'm like, maybe, or like maybe the job was just hard to come by. What I like better than that, though, is when people compliment you on how well you speak.
Like, are you so articulate?
You are very articulate.
It's like,
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's like what do you like? What I'm not supposed to be?
You are very articulate.
Are you saying that I'm not supposed to be? Is that why you're surprised that I am?
You're very articulate. So then the question,
I've heard that so many times, and I have broken grammar, you know. But I've heard that. I mean, maybe because like the Caucasian, the Caucasian stamp in my voice. Sure. It's like, oh.
You ever talk to somebody on a phone?
Oh yeah.
Professionally, and then when you walk in, they're like,
oh yeah. Oh, I just literally talked about my friend Scott about this literally the other day. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and you're like, I'm Chantel.
No, I'll tell you. Look, I'll tell you. Let me tell you a story. Like I talked to. There's a story actually with this. It's pretty funny. So, my job is telephonic, you know. Mm-hmm. So I called this lady and I'm doing an assessment on her, and like she was funny. She's like cool, you know. So like when I get somebody cool on the phone, you know, I'm gonna talk with you. You know, I'm just gonna be me. So we're talking, like I'm saying random jokes, but doing my assessment. She's cool, and I can tell she's black. I just know in her voice, her demeanor, the words she's saying.
You felt the sisterhood.
I know, you know, she's an older black lady, you know.
I felt the sister.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna help you get this, and that. Whoop de whoop. I got you. Call you back tomorrow. Blah blah. And she's like, okay. And then she was like, let me ask you a question. Like, she's like, what nationality are you? And I was like, oh, why do you ask? And she's like, I just want to know. You're just so pleasant. And I was like, I'm black. And she's like, what? Oh no! Oh my! She's like, honey, he's black. He's actually black. Oh, I got a brother now. Oh, yeah. She was so hyped. She was so hyped. I started laughing.
What's funny about that is like she was probably like, I hope he's black. You know what I mean? She was probably like, I really like him. I hope he's black.
But she was also surprised because she was like, honey, she literally was like, honey, he's black. He's a black guy. Yeah.
He called it correct.
I would have never guessed. And I started laughing. I was like, okay, for sure. Like, hey man, you can never tell on the phone. You can never tell on the phone. That's terrible. But it's okay.
But the truth is, like, that's an example of like that's almost an example of a microaggression I will get from people within the community who's like,
or you sound white or something. Yeah, that's one. You know, like, are you whitewashed or you're Oreos?
You're whitewashed. You talk like a white girl. Yeah. Stuff like that, right? Like,
exactly. Or are you like token or something? Like same kind of, you know.
All of these, like, and another one that they brought up, which I thought was hilarious, is when you're in a group of white people and they use you as like the spokesperson for the entire black race.
It's like you have all the answers to everybody and everything that was related to black culture.
How the fuck should I know? Like,
it's like, I don't know. And I hadn't even been in that situation to even know.
When I was younger, I would used to try to like fit into that role and be like, oh well, maybe and hypothesize, right? Because that's all I'm doing.
I'm just trying to figure out what's.
But now that I'm older, like I don't fuck with that at all. I'd be like, how the fuck should I don't know.
Like, I don't speak to everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or like, what do black people do in this? I don't know. As a person, that the problem.
Not even what do black people do, right? Because that's more generic. But what happens, like in more real life examples, at least for me, is like a white coworker will ask me about my other black coworker. Oh, go ask her, right? You asking me because you think I'm a little nicer, or you know what I'm saying?
Or I might not give you the reaction that you think.
I'm a little bit more relatable or whatever. I'm not like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we all black.
You're different. You're not like them. All of those other things and examples of microaggressions I think it's like. So you come to me and ask me about her.
I've heard that so many times. Like, oh, you're not. Literally, white people tell me you're not really black. I have black people tell me you're not really black though. It's like, nigga, are you kidding me? Like, look at my skin color. Look what happens when I get pulled over.
You, bruh.
Like, that's what I'm saying. So I heard it. But yes, it does happen.
That shit drives me
crazy.
Like,
for sure. And it was something I used to be bothering me more, but now I think I've just kind of grow a thick skin around it. Like, I just learned to deal with it, which is not necessarily fair, but that's the way I've coped with. Just I don't let myself react to it as much anymore.
So the article talks about how powerful this is in our subconscious and the way we internalize these things. So what they did was they used an example of the stereotypes between race and gender when it comes to test taking, right?
Okay, yeah.
So saying things like women aren't good at math before a woman takes a math test.
And they tend to perform worse, right?
They perform worse.
Right.
Even though she knew the shit, right?
Yeah,
Same thing with black people. Black people suck at English, or I don't know what the subject category was for black people. It probably was math. And you say something like that before you go in to take the test and you perform worse. Like the ways that we internalize these things could in some cases turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Right. You're following me around the store because you think I'm a thief. I'm gonna steal some shit.
Yeah, and like honestly, it's kind of like if you accuse your partner for cheating every day, you cheat, you're cheating and they're not cheating. Eventually, they might as well cheat because you're acting the same way anyways. Might as well, you know. So I get it. I get that. You know?
Or even think about how detrimental that is. If you're going in to see a physician. I
can't even say no.
Physician. Whatever.
Yeah,
you going
I'm a nurse. I don't know why I can't say it.
Whatever.
Just say doctor, bro.
Whatever. Fuck the word. It wasn't meant for me to say it.
It's okay.
You're going in to see a doctor.
You just quit on it.
Because it's physician, right?
Yeah, physician. I honestly, I say it when I don't have to think about it. But when I got to think about it, I can't figure out how to say it.
Okay, it's a physician. So
don't sound right, but okay,
it's
doctor.
Physician.
It's okay.
Physician.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Doctor. Okay.
You're going to see a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. And this doctor has these microaggressions or these biases, right? That may not be, you know what I'm saying, conscious, right? So he's probably not like, yeah, I'm a racist, right? Mm-hmm. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah, for sure. He's not. He doesn't think he is.
Most white people or most people, you know what I mean, who come into these situations, they will say, I'm not a racist. Like, I don't think these things, but we have to address these biases. Mm-hmm. So imagine going in to see your doctor. Your doctor has these biases, right? And imagine the things that you're uncomfortable saying, right? Or the things that he may deflect onto you that you internalize, and that's not even an issue at all, right? Like,
for sure.
That's dangerous if you go see a psychiatrist, right? And they're treating you some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Based on these biases, they're asking you questions based on these biases. Like, I know a situation personally where this person went in to see their therapist, and their therapist is asking them questions, but the person who went in lied to the therapist and was like, because of the way he was talking to me, I felt like he expected me to say that I had did X, Y, and Z. So I just gave him what he wanted to hear. Yeah. Really? Imagine how detrimental that is for my mental health. I'm here to see you because I need help.
But I can't honestly be honest with you.
But I can't be honest with you because you're asking me questions, right? And the whole thing was centered around drugs, right? So you're asking me these questions as if you think I am that I am on drugs, that I'm abusing drugs, right? Which is the reason for
because of whatever biases.
Because I'm a black man, you know what I mean? Or because I'm a black woman, I'm coming in here, you're assuming that I have these issues with drugs, so let me just go ahead and give you what it is you think you need, bruh. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's it goes back to the micro insults, because like people aren't aware that is a racial bias that they're saying, like, to them. I've had this like somewhat of a conversation like as white people, but they don't even realize that is like a thing that they're doing. And it always can come across like, oh, that wasn't my intention or what I meant,
right?
You know,
absolutely.
but it still happens.
A lady at work told me I had straightened my hair, right? My hair is always curly. Right. It's been always curly for about almost 3 years now.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember when you cut it,
And so it was straight this time. And she was like, oh, I like it when you have your hair curly. It makes you look all jungle girl.
Jungle girl.
Jungle girl. It makes you look all jungle girl, right? Oh. And I'm at work and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, about to like,
I was like, yo,
I'm about to have a whole moment, right? And then after I calmed down, right? Because I was so angry that I was like, like I just,
you want to talk about mamas? You want to go there today?
So then after I talked to her, and I was like, yo, for future reference, don't ever say no shit like that to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And she was like, oh, I didn't mean it. Like, you know, when I do X, Y, and Z, like, you know, my husband says that to me and it's cute. Like, because when I get out the shower, my hair is crinkly or some shit like that, she said. And when my husband says it, it's cute, right? And I'm like, don't you ever.
Yeah, it may be cute to you, but it wasn't feel cute to me.
I said, it's not cute. It's not appropriate, right? And the way my head comes out and the way my hair grows out of my scalp is not in resemblance to any jungle animal. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
That's true.
Okay.
That's true, because most animals' hair is like straight.
So I need to tell you,
just saying,
right? And it's the same for me. It's always with my hair. Can I touch your hair?
I've had that too.
No. Why would you think you could touch? No, you cannot touch my hair.
I understand.
You must have good hair. I get that a lot from other black people.
Like this you must one have lady, good, you have like good hair.
This one lady who I'd never met before, and she comes up to me and she was like, "Oh my goodness, how do you get your hair to curl like that?" It's
like it just grows out my head this way. I don't
know how to answer you.
It just grows.
I don't know how to answer you. It comes out of my scalp this way, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't do anything. This is just the way my heritage is. Another lady in a grocery
store, right? Instead of saying I like your haircut, right? She says, "Oh, you must have good hair to cut it all off like that."
I hear you.
Pause.
I hear you. Okay.
Pause. It must be good in order for me to cut it off? No. Right?
Like, yeah, sometimes you can just cut your hair off because you want to.
Maybe it was really nappy and that's why I cut it.
But even being nappy, why does that have to be a bad thing?
And who determines what good hair is?
Exactly.
Why is it good? It's like, good.
Who made society's culture to decide
we
this
already
type
know.
Of hair?
We already know. It's a Eurocentric standard of beauty, and you keep, you know what I'm saying, growing up like that. But check this out. Why is it your hair is good? Because it grows. It comes out of my head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this is the way it comes out of my head. So yes, it's good hair.
Yeah, and anybody who has hair should pretty much be good hair.
The way your hair comes out of your head is good hair too.
But why does it have to be like one is standard is better, you know? And that's the problem. You know? And so let's go on to the third
Can
definition.
I touch your hair? That shit drives me crazy.
So we have also micro invalidations.
It makes my booty itch, America. Don't ask me that ever.
Oh gosh.
No, you can't touch my hair. Why would you want to touch somebody else's hair? I can't remember the times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe on 2 fingers where I've wanted to actually touch somebody's hair.
But did you ask them? Even if you didn't.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
I don't do it. First of all, that is a space violation.
For sure. Especially if I don't know you now. If we've had some kind of experience together and I felt you out and I realized
personal boundaries.
Hey, we have a good enough friendship. Maybe I can ask a question like this. After a certain point, I'd maybe ask. Maybe. But I don't say I don't.
80% of the time, my hair is wet in the morning. 80% of the time. So one time this student comes in and she like to the top of my head, right?
Just out of nowhere?
Without my permission, out of nowhere. She just runs her fingers through the top of my head. And then she was like, it's wet. I was like, I didn't tell you to touch my hair. Like, that's what you get. Get away from me.
Oh my gosh. She just walked up and did it.
Yeah, and then she gonna be like, your hair is wet. I didn't keep your hands out my head.
She wanna come and touch your hair and then talk mess afterwards.
So keep your hands out my head.
For sure. Okay,
that's
so
better.
All right, let's go into the third one, which is micro invalidations, and that is communications that subtly or exclude or negate or nullify the thoughts, feelings, or experiential reality of a person of color. For instance, white people often ask Asian Americans where they were born, conveying the message that they are perpetually foreigners in their own land.
Or for black people, right, or any person of color, really, what they say is, I don't see color.
I think that's ridiculous.
I don't see color.
I'm sorry, but I do, and I can see that I'm black and you're white, and you should acknowledge that.
How could you not see color?
Unless you're colorblind, but you can still say I'm a shade darker.
I don't see color.
Colorblind or not. Colorblind, you're just blind to color, not shades. You can still see I'm fairly darker. So that you can't
Unless
say...
you're Stevie Wonder out here.
Did you know Stevie Wonder can see?
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
Goodbye,
it's been
Anthony. Goodbye,
proven.
Anthony.
I watched the video. This dude can
Anthony.
see.
We're not going to talk about this.
But really, no. Yes, no.
Not my musical icon.
He's a can see.
You are not going to defame or slander.
No. There's been people that have been saying this story.
My musical icon.
Listen. He was on stage. Having a singing with like 4 or 5 people.
Nope.
The main singer went off to the side. Went off to the side. And when he went off to the side, he passed Stevie Wonder, and the guy kicked the microphone back in it, and the microphone was about to fall, and the Stevie Wonder went and tried to catch the microphone.
That's because he has heightened senses. He probably heard it. He probably
in the middle of singing with your ears on, you heard a mic falling. But how do you know which side? How did you know which side?
Because you feel it.
But the microphone, it was like microphone's over here. Stevie Wonder's right here.
It doesn't matter.
How do you prove that? I'm just saying. Anyways, okay.
Don't slander or defame.
It's not slandering. It's not slandering.
It's slander.
It's not slander. It's not slander.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm just saying that's what I heard and that's what I saw.
If I had a couple more minutes, I could write a really good case on slander for what you just did to my man, Stevie Wonder.
Gosh.
If I had a few minutes, all I could think of, I could definitely think about the ways that you could cause him to make less money in the future, that you've affected my man's pockets.
Really?
Yes. I just needed a few minutes to think about it.
I highly doubt I'd be the person to do that, especially if other famous people are saying that who know him.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm just saying, I doubt that I'd be the one.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
Not my musical icon. Not
That's
Stevie.
Fine. It's okay. You can deny it. You can deny it if you want.
Slanderous.
Your house, you can feel.
Slanderous. You can.
Your sofa is there.
Yeah, your sofa in your house that you know like the back of your hand, not on stage. You're just going into a concert hall.
But do you know how?
And how do you even know how many microphones there? If you can't see, how can you know where the microphones be placed at?
Here's the thing. I think you're underestimating the work that it takes to perform in a space. How many times you have to continue to go into that space for sound check, and then given the fact that he is blind, I'm sure that somebody told him, okay, Stevie, so this is going to be the setup. There's going to be 2 down here to your left, 2 down here to your right. There's going to be something going on behind you. They have to tell him stuff like that.
Right, but the fact that how do you know if you're blind? How do you know which side it's falling on? That's all I'm saying. I just want that. But anyways, we're gonna go back. I can't
believe you took me on this rabbit trail. And I tried so hard not to go down this rabbit trail. It's okay.
I have a gift of gab.
And you got me anyway.
It's okay. So back to these though. So that was the last concept was the micro invalidation. So it was pretty much saying where was it back? For instance, white people often ask Asian Americans where they were born, conveying that the message that they are perpetually foreigners in their own land. So yeah, that happens all the time.
Yes.
It's like, oh, like,
see color.
Oh yeah, or where are you from? Or go back to where you came from type of thing, even though I was born here. It's
That's
like,
just ignorance.
It's like
I don't think that falls within this particular category, because I think that's just ignorant.
I think that's more of a what was the first one?
Because
first term, micro.
You could say that to every motherfucker in the country, with
besides
the
Native Americans,
of indigenous people. Like, I've never heard. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go back to fucking Ireland? You know what I'm saying?
I know,
like,
but that's why I don't understand why that term comes up, because like you guys weren't even here. You guys literally were told your story how you discovered this place and slaughtered everybody.
It'd be ridiculous.
So if that's the case, you will be the ones for sure needing to go back.
Why don't you go back to England? Like
I know, like it doesn't ring the same though. I'm not gonna lie.
It don't ring the same, but it's just as stupid.
It doesn't ring the same.
It's just as stupid.
But I agree. So all right, let's go on, because I want to talk about the angry black woman, angry black man, dilemma, debate, all that stuff. So from my point of view, I think that it's not I don't think that black men or women are angry like that. Mm-hmm. It's just anger. I think anger is a secondary emotion. So anger stems from something else, So I think that the reaction people. Oh.
Let's go backwards. Do you think that black men and women are any more, do you think that they show anger more than other races?
I don't think so. I think it's portrayed that way, but I don't necessarily think so. I think it feels like, to me personally, being in both sides, I feel like it's pretty even.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. I don't have any facts or basis. That's my walk. But I don't see it's more of black people, but that the stigma is there.
Okay.
Because maybe sometimes we're more outspoken, and because like there's so much stuff we had to go through, that we're a strong presence. And for white culture that I've seen, it's more of like blending in and not like messing with the lines, and everyone kind of fit into the box. And it's like you don't really want to stray outside the box. And the culture's like copacetic, and everybody kind of be in your groove and be cool, and so black people were like more outspoken and out there and be like, yo, what's up, like just talk and like really like show yourself and be present. So I think when white people look at black culture like it's a problem, because we seem more outspoken, or we seem more aggressive, or we seem more have a problem. But I don't even think that's necessarily the issue. I think the issue is just this stuff that we have anger with comes from hurt or pain or sadness, ultimately. Because the things that we are angry about comes from the fact that we're hurt by it. So I think it's not necessarily, are you an angry black man or woman? Like you may be a hurt black man or woman. And maybe you don't even know what you're hurt by potentially, because there's so much stuff that happens to you in America that you don't even know where to start. Like, where do you begin to unpack your bag at, So that's my stance. And you're smiling. Okay. Okay. Let's see what you got to say.
Why does it matter if I'm smiling? People tell me to smile all the time. First of all,
you had a devious smile. Like,
so people tell me to smile because if I don't, my RBF, resting bitch face, is deep.
Oh.
So like if I'm not smiling, then people will be like, why you got to look at me like that? And I'm like, what, nigga? This is my thinking face. I'm not even thinking about you.
How does that make you feel? Does it bother you?
Not really.
Okay.
It used to, like, like especially when like niggas try to pick you up at the corner grocery store. You should smile more, mommy. You so pretty and all of that stuff. You be like, I don't want to smile. You know what I mean? Or why you look so mean? Like, cause I am. Move.
Why do you want to be mean?
I don't want to be mean, but I also don't want this ashy man trying to pick me up in front of A&PM either. And if this look on my face,
that would
and if this
you.
Look on my face is going to tell you that I don't want to talk to you, then it's going to stay right there, because I need you to understand. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Or especially if he old, like, bro, you 60. Like, this not appropriate at all. Like, this is so inappropriate. This is so inappropriate. You're 75. No, sir.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine getting
right. Or I'll hit him with the no, sir. You know what I mean? Like,
be real formal, like, no, sir.
No,
it's
sir.
Like, I'm a kid. I'm a kid.
Like, because I really want you to understand.
You are
this
elder
age.
To me.
I really want you to understand this age difference.
Hello, elder. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
sir,
that's
right?
funny. Okay.
Or grandpa. I won't say that because
all right, Gramps.
I won't do that because that's
what's up, Pop? Did you say Pops? Like, what up, Pops?
You gonna make me lose my train of thought.
It's okay.
So look, I hear what you're saying, and I don't know if I agree with it.
Okay.
But what I will say is this: some of the things that you just said are an example of the way that we've been programmed.
Okay.
in the sense that you sometimes our presence is bigger than it is. Sometimes we come across as more aggressive, right? When we're not necessarily being aggressive, like that's just what you see. That's an example of programming. And it's the same thing that keeps these young black men getting shot in the streets because for whatever reason, right? It's a programming to see that these young black boys are older than they are. And because older than they are more of a threat than what they actually are. It's programming for you to believe that just that me standing here is more aggressive than a white woman standing here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's programming. You know what I mean? And that's the way that we're portrayed all the time.
Right. And I'm not saying I agree with that. So I'm just saying that's what. No, I'm just saying
like it's just an example of programming. These things are not true. They're false. Right? They're false. You know what I'm saying? Me standing here is not more aggressive than a white woman.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Here.
For sure.
You know what I'm
saying? For sure, but society thinks that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. My ability to influence a room should have nothing to do with the color of my skin. I understand that it does. And I think something that black people have to do, and this goes back to being a strong black woman, what I think is strength is that we have to work overtime to combat these narratives. We have to work overtime to combat these assumptions and these biases that people are going to have about us, right? So if I raise my voice at work, I can't. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even though this is a situation that would warrant a regular human person
to be upset or whatever,
or to be angry, I can't be. You understand what I'm saying?
Which I understand. It like because that if you do get angry, then that label is going to be put on you immediately.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's like, do I react the way I should react based on the situation, or do I have to dull myself so I don't get put in this category? And that makes it more frustrating.
And based on the conversation we just had, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? They already looked at us some type of way, right? The bias was that I was already gonna come across as more angry than every other woman in here because of my skin color, right? So when some bullshit happens in a room and I react to the bullshit, I knew you. All I did was confirm in their mind the truth. Right. Even though
it's not necessarily true, that would have been anybody's reaction to the situation.
Jessica acted the same way.
But because you're black, it means something else.
Exactly. Yeah. So stuff like that, like I'm at work. I had another teacher say to me, "Oh, would you mind calling this student because I know the way you go with your attitude," or something like that. She said to me, and I'm like.
Bit. It's like, excuse me?
Help me not go.
And you know what's crazy is this person didn't even think that what she said was offensive.
She don't think anything. She didn't even think it was like, she was like, oh, in
her mind, her intentions weren't that, even though it's still that.
But because she done said one too many things to me in a microaggressive manner that I don't really fuck with, whether it's about my attitude or it's about my hair or about anything else like that, I don't like you, right? And I can't fuck with you. And because I can't fuck with you, it's gonna be a certain disconnect when we're in the same room. We can't totally have the same conversation, right? So then again, what happens? All we're doing is confirming the shit that she had in her, you know what I'm saying? Confirming the biases that she had all along.
So what do you think, how do you think this situation can be, is there a way, do you think, to resolve it? Is you think there's, because I mean, this will obviously take a long time to resolve if it is. But like the thing is, if you act the way you should act, and I hate the way should. I mean, what I mean by that is if you act in like the situation warrants you to have a response and you have a response, it fulfills the prophecy of what they believe. But if you don't act that according way, then you have to harbor and hold those feelings in. So it's like either way you're screwed. Either you screw yourself or you're screwed in the eyes of them. Or people, you know?
Then every black professional or every black person who has to deal with this on a daily basis, imagine how heavy you are when you walk in the door. Because I'm dealing with regular work shit, right? And on top of my regular work shit, I got to deal with the 15 comments that I got today that were totally out of pocket that I didn't even address. And I didn't address it for a few reasons. The first reason why I didn't address it because I was mad, and if I would have addressed it at that moment, I would have got fired. The second reason why I didn't address it because at a certain point it's just like whatever. Like I just don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the capacity I just can't. I can't school you on your I can't give you a black lesson today. Like I'm tired. You know what I mean?
Maybe tomorrow when I'm in a better mood.
I'll be in more of like a educate the white people type type mood. But right now I just ain't got it. So I'll laugh it off and I'll leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I won't laugh it off. Maybe I'll just leave the room. But imagine how you have to go home and unpack that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why, like, I think we have to be mindful and sensitive to our mates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially our mates that have to go out and fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And go out in corporate America. You know what I mean? Like.
But have you seen there's times where people are looking for stuff that's not necessarily there?
Say more.
Like looking for into like a racist situation that's not even necessarily racist, or bringing something at race involved that has nothing to do with race at all.
Say more. Like I need an example. Like, yes, that happens, but oftentimes it goes back to these microaggressions.
Because is it sometimes that we are looking for racism and then we keep finding it because it's what we're searching for? Like, we're looking for someone to be racist. We're looking for someone to turn around. We're looking for someone to shortchange us or do us wrong.
I think that happens.
And then it kind of fulfills the prophecy of it,
Kind of.
I'm not saying it's always, but
I think that happens, and I think it happens in seasons that we're in right now,
mm-hmm.
right? Jacob Blake just got shot in his back 7 times,
mm-hmm.
right? So when the police pull me over, I'm gonna be tripping a little bit,
for
right?
sure,
because
sure.
I just saw that, right? So
yeah.
Then the times we're looking for something to be racist and it's not, I really don't think that can be much of a thing for us any
mm-hmm.
more than it could be a thing for a woman that was raped to be like.
Sketchy about some people.
Sketchy about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when everything in me tells me that niggas ain't shit, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's the same thing when it's the same thing with black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it may happen, but how? Because I'm in a post-traumatic state all the time.
Mm.
And because I'm in a post-traumatic state all the time from seeing black people hanging from trees, from seeing black people getting killed by the police, from seeing white people not caring, from white people saying crazy stuff to me on my job, or not even white people, but people
mm-hmm.
saying crazy stuff to me on my job. Do you understand what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Yes.
I get
yes.
that. Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to overreact because
sure.
I've been carrying some stuff.
Understood. I get that.
Because I've been carrying some stuff. And we human.
Understand. Yeah, I understand that. I just think for me, I just feel like I see a lot of people that look for, it's kind of like, it's like you look into the situation and then find reasons to believe that even though it may not necessarily be true. And I'm not saying this happens really often like that, but it's like sometimes like there can be a comment that's just said and then it's like, oh, they're fucking racist. I'm like, how are they racist? It's not even like that. But now you think they're racist, and now you're pissed off, and now you're mad for a whole day, which is miscommunication.
And the issue of microaggressions,
mm-hmm.
right? And granted, we gave some examples,
right? But
we have to realize that there are things that people say that are rooted in an unconscious bias,
right? Which is true,
right?
Which is
so
true.
Then there was another study in the article that said mm-hmm. that most people would say, "I'm not racist." Mm-hmm. However, if they're in a hiring position and the black candidate far outseeds the white candidate, of course the black candidate gets the job,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if the black candidate is so far underneath the white candidate, of course the white candidate gets the job.
Right.
However, that's not the majority of the case. The majority of the case is if you have two people with the same qualifications, the same experience levels, the black person versus the white person, who gets the mm-hmm. job?
Yeah, white person.
The white person, right? So yes, you don't see yourself as racist, right?
Right.
Yes, you had a reason to pick this person over this person, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a reason why at the same footing you chose this person over this mm-hmm. person. That's a bias, and that is unconscious, meaning we don't know that we're operating with that bias. That's the purpose of these microaggressions.
I understand that.
So but people are saying stuff to you without knowing.
Right. It's unconscious. Like if they're not aware of it, they're not like sitting there trying to be it.
Yeah,
they just do it
not
off
trying
of
to
like
be assholes.
Yeah, but we also could do that too. Because like I would probably prefer a black person if I was going to hire somebody. And looking at it, I'd probably be like, if it's two people, I probably want to do the black person.
Because you're operating with some sort of bias.
Which is okay in my standard.
But here's the thing, though.
But when America's run by mostly people,
yes, black people don't control enough systems for this to be a thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Yeah, it's true.
So it's not.
Yeah. I agree.
So it's not.
I agree. But it is true either way. Like both ways there is bias.
And
but the bias is definitely heavier one-sided on that because white people control
because
more
they control
of
systems that can potentially keep us out, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to with shout out to Chris Broussard, who is this ESPN dude who I love, but I loved him more because I heard him on a podcast. Mm-hmm. And he talked about the reasons why black men don't really fuck with Christianity. Okay. And one of the things he said was that white people control.
Do you look, please? Is it good? How much How much time? Oh, okay.
White people control virtually almost just about every facet of our lives, right? They control our money because we got to go work.
Education.
They control our education because they're teaching our kids.
The banks, everything.
You know what I'm saying? They control who's giving us our money, right? We got to go work for them. You know what I'm saying? They control who's teaching our children. Do you understand what I'm saying? They control the criminal justice system. You know what I'm saying? Like almost every facet of our lives is being controlled by a white person or a white industry.
Right.
Okay. So, hold on, I don't want to burp.
I just burped too. Literally, it just came out.
So that inhibits the way that they're able to relate to a white Jesus. Because if I gotta deal with white people in every facet of my life, I'm not also going to deal with him in my spirituality.
But it doesn't have. But he doesn't have to be white. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
I understand that there was programming to that. I get that. I get that.
It doesn't matter. Other religions, especially like the Nation of Islam and the Hebrew Israelites, they do a better job, right, of promoting a masculine and a masculine spirituality, and then separating it from the white man purely.
So how come? Because you said that was more black men. How come black women don't have that same problem?
Because you could say that the church as a whole has been feminized.
Because I've noticed in general, like going to churches,
don't have that problem
there's way more women in church than there are men. Way more, and that's like across the board. I've seen personally, there's always more women than men. Like I would probably say like 80% women, 20% men.
In white churches and black churches, or do you think that there's a bigger disparity in black churches?
In white churches, I would say it's probably like 65% women,
60-40.
maybe 70 to like 30. There are more men in the white churches that I've seen personally. So I'm only going by my personal experience, so I'm just saying my piece. Not this is fact or nothing, but so in the black churches, it's like probably like 80%. Even 85, you know.
So there's a bigger disparity in the black church.
Yeah, for sure, like a huge gap, gap. So, and I'm curious to know why it is that women
doesn't operate like that.
Yeah,
there's far more men than women.
So why do you say that the church has been feminized? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, give me some kind of insight. Because like, I mean, I'll speak from my point of view after you're done, but like from a guy being in church and stuff.
Okay.
Because I don't understand.
There's way more women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way more. I mean, like ridiculously more. At least that I've seen in general. And this may not be fact.
And because there's way more women, I would say that it's possible, and I'm not going to speak on somebody else's calling or anointing because you get dangerous right here. So I'm going to use very light words. I understand. But it's possible for a preacher to start to preach toward his demographic.
Okay,
of
got
women,
it.
Right?
Okay.
Which is going to draw who?
Women.
Another thing is I think that preaching as a whole, depending on who you listen to, has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hooping and hollering, now like to the point where it's possible to go to a church and not learn, to go to a church, sit in a church on a Sunday morning and not learn any Bible.
For sure, yeah.
But to learn certain key phrases, right? That people like to hear, so they start screaming and hollering.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I get it.
So bro ain't really even said nothing.
But those key words got people to feel something.
But the key words, it's emotional.
It's like a trigger word. It's like trigger word.
That's the word he used. He said it was emotional. It's become an emotionalized thing, and men are not connecting to that, right?
Yeah.
Men are going to connect to a stronger word, and one that is geared toward teaching them something.
Yeah, and I agree.
Teaching them, to them learning something, right?
I agree. Because as men in general, I'm generalizing this. Men are more like very logical, methodical, like A, B, C type of creatures.
Yes.
So if you go and just tell me some stuff without giving me
ABCD
any kind of concrete,
right?
You just tell me, hey, the sky is blue, but they don't explain anything behind why the sky is blue.
Right.
Why am I going to just believe what you say? Like, you need to give me some concrete. You need to give me some proof. You need to give me some facts to base what you're saying off so I can believe what you're saying.
Yes.
And I may want to come back. But if you're just telling me God is good, why is God good? Because, and it's like,
that,
okay, well,
God
that doesn't, you know, here's why the scriptures back up.
And then,
Your scream is perfect.
You gotta get the thing.
I can't do it. Do it again one more time. I love it.
So,
but no, yeah, I would say that I think that maybe it's what's missing. I don't know for sure, but I just noticed like men aren't there in church like that. And even when you invite men to church, they might come once and then they don't really stick around. Like I'm one who did, but I also got a lot of good concrete.
Right.
You know?
And then what's different is that you saw other men at our church similar to your age group.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's another thing that kind of draws them in. But as a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole.
I mean, just what I've seen, it's majority women.
As a whole. And then pastor. Right? Like these.
Like he's a dude. Like he's a man, you know?
He's
like,
a man. So so like these other preachers, like they not like pastor.
Yeah.
Right? Because pastor not the one for that. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't.
Like pastor not the one for that. Right?
For sure.
So it's a little bit different, but I think that's terrible the way that these other religions have been able to, not terrible, but there's the way that they've been able to really capture their religion in a masculine way, their spirituality in a masculine way.
And that's a huge issue because men crave that masculine type of energy and stuff, you know,
and not
from a woman.
No,
they don't crave it from a woman.
No, they crave it for themselves.
And they want it. They want to be around other men like that, but they don't want to have the masculine energy come from a woman. And that's where one thing is hard because if a woman has a lot of masculine traits, it's hard for a man to be like, hey, because it's like men want to see the feminine side because if you look at every relationship, it's always balanced. If you look at homosexual couples, there's always one that's more feminine and one that's more masculine.
Agreed.
You look across the board and men, homosexuals, women, lesbians, like you see there's always like the girl who's like a dude type of girl, and then that's like this the lady, and then there's the gay men who are like the girly type of dude, like, you know, and then you have the masculine.
Oh, I get you.
You know, the masculine, like he's like more like a they're both kind of, you know, so there's always both. But with men, I've noticed that we're not receptive to masculine energy from women. It's very hard to take that. It's really hard to take it because it's almost like it reminds you of your mom. Like oh, like you just gonna tell me what to do and do this. That's what we think of when we see like woman with masculine energy a lot.
I'm gonna take your word for it because that sounds weird, and I don't even have a comment on that or know how to. You know.
I'm just saying from my point of view.
Okay.
I know. I know when men they want the woman to be a woman,
right,
and not be like a masculine woman, you know. But then there are men that are maybe more feminine and want more of a masculine woman, and it kind of works. But I think that's where the problem is. Yeah. And I think with the church and stuff too, is because like you said, it was like feminized and stuff, and men are going to craving for other like masculine men, but when they go there and they have there's masculine women possibly, or it's preaching to a dynamic for women, and they're not either getting that masculine energy, or it's a woman telling them something and they're not trying to hear it. They can't hear it. They're blocked. Like they have the trigger. That. It's like I can't hear you.
Right.
If a man were to tell you the same thing, probably would listen.
Right.
One woman tell you, it's like,
I can't hear you.
You know, and we're just different, you know. So
it is. It's true. Like, it's unfortunate.
And it sucks.
I think that concept is really unfortunate because there's a lot of teenage boys that I come into contact with, and I already know that some things that I can tell them they're not going to hear from me, but they will hear from my male coworker. Right. And sometimes it's annoying, but sometimes it's like, go ahead.
Whatever, yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes,
which I understand.
You know, I can share with you. You know what I mean? Like I know stuff too.
No, I mean, me and my wife, we talk about stuff, and she'll tell me stuff, and in my head, I'm like,
that makes sense.
I mean, sometimes it will make sense, but then other times it's like, okay, it's like, give me some proof. Like, tell me why you're telling me this. Right. But if you don't tell me why she doesn't have like a direct answer, then I'm like, well, why am I going to listen? But if somebody would tell me the answer, I'd probably listen. But then other time, she's telling me the truth. She's telling me the right answer.
Right.
I don't hear it the same way. See, I'm not hearing, and it's not the way she necessarily explained it. It's just there's a mental block when I'm trying to hear.
This is why women don't understand that, right?
Okay.
Because I hear what you're saying. I do. I hear it and I've seen it happen. I don't understand it at all.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
And the reason why I don't understand it is because I'm the kind of person, and I can't make this generalization for females in general, but I'm the kind of person that if you got some information and tell me that I don't know, I don't care if it's coming from a man, a woman, or a sheepdog. If you're going to help me, I want to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm greedy like that. Like, I've always been that way. If you're going to tell me my problem, tell me what it is in a constructive way so that I can utilize it and not have this problem.
Right.
You know
For sure.
And I don't care if it's male, female, or a sheepdog.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So that's why I don't understand that.
But that's also different because even reading that book, like Men Are From Mars or whatever, they were talking about the difference between men and women and how like that's with women, it's more of an acceptable thing to tell somebody something and you guys can take, like, they're generalizing, of course.
Right.
Not everyone's like this, but it's acceptable for women to tell each other something like that and it's okay. It's not like an issue. But I'm not going to go tell a guy what to do because it sounds like I'm telling him he don't know what he's doing. So for us, we take it internalized. If you're telling me, hey, like, you should do this, some men interpret it like, oh, you don't think I know what I'm doing. Instead of hearing what you're saying, right, we hear, you don't think I know what I'm doing and you don't trust me. So why, like, that's how we internal. I'm just telling you. Yo. I'm just telling you what it's like.
I get you.
Boy right there, don't walk right there. He's like, behind you know there's a hole.
No, and that's my thing. If you come to me and tell me, if you tell me something like, hey, like, you're doing this, and I'm like, well, how do you say so? Right. And then you say, well, I just know. Why would I listen to you if you don't even have any concrete to tell me why? Tell me why you believe that.
Here's the thing though, like, if you're with somebody, like, don't you want to be with somebody that you know has your back to such an extent that when they tell you something you know is Bible just because of the way that they love you and look out for you?
I understand. I understand that. But also are these thoughts like something where is it like a over like thinking thought? Is this like a over rationalization where it's like, are you tripping on something and then it's like a thought? Is it something that you're just telling me now?
So you trying to weed through why we telling you this?
Yeah,
instead of just listening to what we telling you.
Because sometimes you'll tell me something in an emotion. Sometimes you'll tell me something in an emotional state that's not necessarily true. And then I believe that, and then you'll be like, oh, I didn't really mean with that. I wasn't. So I'm like, okay.
I got
so
you.
that happens so many
that
times.
Makes sense.
Then
that
I'm like, okay,
sense.
well, don't
that
tell.
Makes sense.
If you tell me something,
I
need you to tell me why so I can understand it concretely so I can believe you.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
So as men, and especially when it comes from a woman, our pride, it gets in our way of like, we should know what to do. We should know how to fix it. We should know how to drive a car. So if you tell me to get in the car and drive the car, you should not tell me how to drive or where to turn or what exit to take. If you thought I was smart enough to get behind the wheel, then trust me.
Know how to
and if you telling me something in my head, hold on. How many times have I gone to our destination safely? Is my track record good? Yes. Do I have any tickets or accidents? No. And if every time we drove, thank you, Jesus, I've lived this long. If you don't trust me to drive, then just drive. Or don't critique my driving. If it's that bad, then don't. If it's that bad, then drive.
That's an excellent analogy. That's an excellent analogy.
So that's how we feel when you were telling me something. It just seems like you don't trust me. And why would you tell me to drive if you don't trust me? Why are you going to tell? That's like you're going to tell me to fix a toilet, and now you're going to tell me how to fix it and what to do and what screw. Do it your damn self.
I got you.
That's what it feels like. So
I got you.
That's why men feel that way.
That's clear. But no, I get you. That makes total sense. And that driving analogy did it because people hate my driving, and when they get on my nerves, I'd be like, "You want to drive or not?"
Shut the hell up and let me drive. Or get out the damn car.
Yeah, I'd be like,
or
you got a car.
Thank you, drive yourself. That's what
that driving analogy did it. But what if? But like if I also approached you with that energy, I would be like, what do you call it? A nagging black woman, or talking to you like I'm your mama. Or like if I would approach you with that same energy, right? And you're just telling me something, hey, babe, something real easy, and I'm like, but why would you tell me that? Why? Like if I went through all of those filters, you know what I mean, that you go through every time I say something. If I went through all of those filters, then I'm automatically perceived as arguing, being nagging, being combative.
No, but not necessarily, because if I ask you a question to clarify, then clarify your statement. But if you don't have anything to say it, then why are you telling me if you don't have nothing?
How is that different from you driving and me and be like, oh, babe, was that the exit? Right? And you getting mad like, I didn't choose that.
It's not that. It's because No, that's okay.
Is that the exit?
If you telling me, hey, get in this lane. Hey, you should go right here. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you shouldn't be in this lane. Or why am I driving if you think I shouldn't be in this lane?
Why are you driving the slow lane?
Why are you worried in the? First of all, why are you in the passenger seat worried about driving?
I really hope the listeners can hear Michaela right now.
They can.
That's his wife right now.
Yeah, my wife. This is what we go through. Actually, this is really what happens. So. Okay, so we gotta wrap it up. So no. This would be a good point. We gotta wrap it up.
Y'all need to do your own podcast. For
no,
sure.
we're wrapping because we got like literally a couple minutes. We're gonna wrap it up.
What I just said last night, because you just confirmed everything I said to him last night. But go ahead, confirm.
I did apologize for how I reacted. Okay, I did. I'm a man. I'm man up and I'll own it. You know. So what happened was a long time ago. Okay, I've been a Christian my whole life, but I got my walk like last 6 years since I started going to church. So I think 3 years ago, I think Michaela was telling me something about like witchcraft, like one of these shows or witchcraft or something, like some kids show or something, you know. And I'm like, okay, like
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, okay, so she started saying like, oh, this is witchcraft and stuff, or voodoo. She always jokes, this is voodoo, it's voodoo. Everything is voodoo. If she doesn't understand it, it's voodoo.
Yu-Gi-Oh really is.
Yeah, but so for her, if she doesn't understand it, she automatically assumes it's voodoo until proven otherwise. So she's saying all this stuff that I know about. It's voodoo, witchcraft, you know?
The same thing about the Illuminati. She be like, that's the Illuminati. Like she says this, I know Michaela. She says the same thing about the Illuminati.
So she's telling me about voodoo and witchcraft, all this stuff. And at that point, I didn't really believe it. I didn't know. I thought it was like old school Bible stuff, like back hundreds of years ago. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, the whole Bible don't count.
No, I'm just saying I didn't know that stuff was happening. I just didn't believe. I'm like, there's really witches out here like doing stuff, right? That's my thought. Okay, so fast forward, that happened like in March 2017, and then 2017 of Halloween, pastor was telling us and breaking it down, and so we went to Bible study and he was telling us all about the different types of witches and trolls and what they do and what they are, gremlins and all this stuff, and he was breaking it down with scripture, and I was like,
so like pause, I just want to interject. It wasn't nothing emotional. He hit you with the facts, and men are more adept to understand and to listen to you when you hit them with the facts.
Yes, just don't give me emotion, give me facts.
Give me facts.
So she didn't give me facts. She gave me emotion, which I tried to hear, but I didn't get why. I asked you questions. You couldn't explain it. You were just telling me stuff without having any basis. Pastor told me he literally broke down scriptures, exactly what these things were, where they came, all this stuff. So I'm like, this is deep. She was right. And I told her she was right. But the point I'm making is, if you come and tell me something like that, then you need to explain it. Because if I don't understand it, why would I believe you? It's like being a lawyer. Like, if you're gonna go and tell someone they're guilty, why? Because I said so. What the hell is that gonna do? You gotta prove it. Prove what you're saying. If you believe that.
Person that know about witchcraft, like this ain't just like something.
I was not, because she was raised in church her whole life. I was not. I didn't know about any of this stuff until I came in the ministry 6 years ago, and we don't even taught that much. We weren't taught like that necessarily like hard until later on. So I didn't know, and she's like, "Well, how do you not know?" Because I wasn't raised in church like that. I didn't go to Bible study every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't go to church every Sunday.
I'm new to this.
Off, so that was the problem. But like I said, I will admit that when I'm wrong. I will admit it. It may take me a minute, but I will admit it.
That's progress.
I will,
that's progress.
So that's my thing.
And then honestly, like, it's a little bit different, especially like it's easier to fuck with somebody who can admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I admit it. It took me a minute, but I did admit I was wrong.
It took me a minute.
But
it took me some time.
I did admit it. But that's my thing is like, if you come to me with concrete, men, generally speaking, like concrete facts about stuff. And if you can tell me, hey, don't turn on this street because when I go on this street, there's a bump right here and this will make the car spin and da-da-da, and you have actually boom, then I'm like, all right. Well, then why do you wait the last minute? Why do you wait the last minute to explain that? Why do you wait the last minute to explain that? Like, why do you go wait the last minute to explain that? So anyways.
Sometimes in the heat
Speak for the women, please. Speak for the women, please.
All I'm going to say, I can't. It's really hard, actually.
Do you see both sides?
Yes, I do see both sides. But sometimes I will say in the heat of battle, not even in the heat of battle, if you're just having a conversation, like it's easier to just be like, hey, don't do that. You know what I mean? And it's not to tell you what to do or anything. It's just like, but at what point do you trust your mate? Like, oh, she might know this.
Yeah, for sure.
Granted, you can't trust her about everything because, like you said, sometimes you got to weed through the emotion and all of that stuff.
I'm trying to weed through every time to make sure what is this true.
But sometimes everything she says can't be filtered. You know what I mean?
Which is warranted, but that just happened.
If I say the orange juice is bad, like, you got to take my word for it. Don't be like, well, why you say that? Last time you threw it away, and it wasn't like, don't just throw it. But
if you have a track record of throwing away stuff that's not bad, then I would question it for sure.
First of all, I hear what you're saying.
But I wouldn't question
But then ultimately, it comes back to how much peace do you want to have between you and your mate? Because you could ask all of these questions and filter it out, but you got to understand that when you do that, it's going to take her to a level, and then you're going to be at a level, and then you're going to be at a level, when really it could have just been easier to be like, all right, babe.
Or why couldn't it be just don't say anything about it? Why couldn't it be both ways? I can understand that. I can conform also. But also then respect the fact that you don't got to say that.
Sometimes it's going to be easier for her to just be like, girl, just put your sunglasses on and enjoy this car ride.
And pray to Jesus while we drive, because clearly my record has shown.
I have learned not to give men directions. Because
do not.
I just have.
It's so annoying. It is very annoying when you tell me, "Hey, can you drive?" And then you want to tell me how to drive and what lane to get in and what parking spot to drive in. I don't understand why you want to tell me.
It's funny because I do it with like with my female friends. I be like, girl, where are you going, right? And then they tell me, and they be like, well, I'm driving, and I be like, oh, you right. That's all I need to hear because I got PTSD. I done dealt with some folks. You know, it was a situation.
I understand. Okay.
Go ahead. We're gonna end it with this story. I was on a date once, right? I got these playoff tickets to the Sparks game. Anybody knows me knows I love basketball, and I particularly love the LA Sparks.
Okay.
I love them.
Okay.
It's my favorite sports team. Period. The LA Sparks.
Okay. Respect.
Playoff tickets.
Okay.
I'm mad hype. Right. Okay. So I take this dude. I'm like, let's go to this game, right? So he driving. I live in LA and I have an excellent sense of direction. I don't get lost because I don't like it, right?
Okay.
Now that statement has an addendum unless we're in some like a mountainy town like Big Bear or something. For whatever reason, when we get up in like high altitudes, my sense of direction don't work no more because all them roads look the same, right? But generally speaking,
you can find your way. If you need
I can find my way around, right?
All right.
So I'm telling them, oh no, get off on, and I'm just telling them, right, because you want to avoid the traffic in this way and this way. So I'm telling them, go get, get off on Pico, because that street gonna take you all the way back around. You don't want to go all the way back around. Like get off right here, right? And then you can hit it this way. Oh, I know this lot. Like go park in this lot, right? I go to Sparks games all the time, right? I know which lot to park at. Go park at this lot. And he's like, that's a hospital. I was like, I know, but they also use the lot. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, right across the street from the Ritz Carlton, and adjacent cattle corner in that parking lot, there's a thing over there. It looks like a little healthcare clinic, but if you go park right there, plug, it's $10, not $25.
Okay.
Not $25 like the rest of the lots that are that close to the Staples Center. That's the plug, right? So I'm telling him all this information. It looked like a clinic, but I know. But like, if you go in there, he gonna get. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Okay.
He was not listening.
Okay, that's
he was
weird.
Not listening, because and I was late for my Sparks game.
If you're explaining why this thing worked, and you,
but I wasn't
because you have an hour ride to get there. You have an hour ride to explain.
But I wasn't explaining. I was just like, get off on Pico.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't listen.
And he's like, I got it on my GPS. I'm not. I'm gonna get off on the next street.
Thank you. Yeah, because I don't. What are you telling me? If you don't.
So I don't say nothing, right? I get it. Okay, he got it on his GPS. So I don't say nothing. Okay, cool. He got it on his GPS. I don't say nothing. He got it on his GPS. Okay. So we go all the way around, right?
I can see.
Okay.
I can understand.
So we go all the way around, and then I'm like, oh, go park in this lot, right? And he's like, no, I know this lot over here is $20, and I'm like, my lot is 10, right? And then. $20 but we can't go. So then he's asking me how to get to the $10 lot. I'm like, we can't get to the $10 lot now because you got off on the wrong exit. And now we're 3 blocks away from my lot. We're on the other side of the Staples Center now. Like anybody know downtown LA, right? Like it's 2 sides to this. You familiar with the area, and now we're on the wrong side of the convention center. Like we can't get to my lot now because you wanted to take your exit and listen to your GPS.
All you had to do was say, "Hey, I come down here all the time. I love this place, and this is where I park, and I get you $10." How? Look, you guys, look, women talk more than men. It's proof. First of all, hold on. It's proven. No. Y'all talk all the time, more than women, particularly. It's been proven that women talk more than men. So you can't say, "Oh, who has enough time for those words?" You guys talk all the time.
You know what?
This is true. This is fact. This is fact.
Have you some friends that are a little bit older than you? Right? Because I talked to one of my homegirls. She was like, girl, was you paying for parking? I was like, no. She was like, so why do you care? And I was like, boom.
Exactly.
Boom. After that, so I was like,
if you're getting taken out and going somewhere for free, shut up. Just shut up.
Let me
shut
tell
the
you,
hell up.
That's
Let
how
me end it.
That's how I learned that lesson. She said, are you paying for parking? She's like, was you planning on paying for parking? I said, no. And she said, so why does it matter where he parks?
Thank you. Why does it matter if you park? Why does it matter? You ain't paying for it.
Let me tell you how quick I learned that lesson. Tell you how quick I learned that lesson, right? Where are we going? You driving? All right, cool.
Thank you. And then that's it. Enjoy the ride. Look at the sunset. Even if it's crazy.
Turn on the radio. Like sometimes you gotta distract yourself. Turn on the radio.
You got a phone, go on Instagram or something. I don't know.
Be on Instagram scrolling, be looking like
read a damn book while I care.
Like
I got time to read my book now. Let me open my Bible or something, you know what I'm saying?
And then like throw hella shade like he going along with it.
Don't say nothing.
All right.
I say nothing no more.
I see he still he still don't want to go to this $10 lot, but whatever. It ain't my
okay, all right, exactly. You wasting the money anyways. Cool. So that's why I don't understand. If for sure, if you're not paying, if you are not paying, why are you saying if you ain't paying?
And she said
that's a good one.
She said it so smooth. She said it so smooth. Was you planning on paying? And she was an older married woman, and she's like, "You plan on paying for parking?" I said, "No."
I was like, all right.
She's like, "So why are you tripping?"
And mind you, I would just go back to this. I do listen in the car because one time we wanted to go to the beach. And I actually wanted to go to Malibu, and someone wanted to go to Dock Wilder. And then we got almost Dock Wilder. Then they decided to change their mind and wanted to go to Malibu. How? So I turned my ass.
This is very simple. Manhattan is right off of
No. I said
Malibu?
I said I'm gonna honor what you want to do and turn around and go backtrack another 30 minutes.
One is off of Rosecrans, and one is off of Imperial.
So you can't say I don't. Simple. You can't say I don't listen. It's just. Don't critique my driving when my record is better than yours. Okay, no. If it's Jesus, then why are you tripping if Jesus made it?
I'm not.
Come on. If you believe in Jesus, then why are you worried if you believe in Jesus?
Point, sisters,
thank you.
Yo, seriously, at a certain point, we just got to be like, all right, well.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, well.
That's it.
I mean, I just don't like typically like. When,
but we like mess around, but yeah.
I don't enjoy. All right, well, cool. Like even if I got a stank face, like all right, well,
that is somebody else I know too. She's like, all right, they don't like to argue. But the thing is, that's what goes back to the other point. Cool. If you tell me something and then I ask you a question to clarify and you don't even have an answer, then why do I want to believe what you say if you don't have an answer to clarify the thing you're telling me to do?
If your mom tells you, "Hey, Anthony, don't touch the stove," and you still touch it, what you want her to do? Like, "Hey, Anthony, do not touch the stove. The fire is on."
It will burn you. I'll be okay. It's gonna burn me. I don't want to do that. Hey, don't touch the stove, but don't tell me why. Why would I listen to you? You didn't give me nothing to not touch it. You didn't give me no reason not to.
You guys are funny.
That's why I don't understand. So that's it.
You guys are funny.
Anyways, thank you guys. Yeah, you know what? It's cool. Don't trip.
You guys are funny.
So now you heard this is like the most of our things that pretty much just driving mainly.
Driving.
That's really it.
And parking.
That's why I learned just she go and drive. I don't say nothing when she drives. I don't say nothing. I'm in my phone doing my own thing, not caring. Jesus is behind the wheel. I'm cool. I'm grateful. I'm gonna chill.
Carpool with someone who's not epileptic.
So you have the nerve. Wait, hold on. You have the nerve to carpool with someone who has a seizure condition, and don't say nothing. But then tell me something.
That don't sound
you gonna tell me. Listen. You tell me how to drive.
First of all, she's not even supposed to be driving.
Exactly.
She's not even supposed to be driving.
Wait, but you don't say nothing to her.
She's not supposed to be driving when I'm in the car.
But you don't say nothing to her, but say everything to me when my record is better. You got a
seizure condition? No, boo, I got this. Don't trip. No, boo.
That's great.
You know what? You relax, girl. I don't mind. I got it. I drive. Don't trip.
That's funny.
This is all me. Work the radio.
That's.
But like you operate in heavy machinery and you could pass out at any moment. With me.
I was like, I'm cool. I'm gonna be over there.
Yeah, like the way that you endanger your own life is your business because I'm only gonna tell you, 3 or 4 times. For sure. Don't.
But I'm not gonna get in the car if I think you're that. If I have to critique how you're driving, I probably shouldn't get in the car.
They all own their correct medication, but you have to be. But like one thing I know about seizure conditions is that you have to be seizure free for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's like a year or 2 years. I think it's 2 years seizure free, nothing, until you can get your license.
Before you can get your license on this medication, on a specific medication, before you could be driving like that.
God was good because one day I was like picking her up from the carpool, and then she didn't come. I was like, oh my God, what happened to her? So I was calling her.
She had a seizure.
She had a seizure.
See, and then you critique my driving, but road. That don't make that logically that makes no sense. And this is why men have this. This don't make no sense.
I don't know like the type of situations that induce seizures. So what if like
what if she had epilepsy or somewhere? It's like what if it's like light, like a green light flash,
or like a
siren.
Somebody blinker sets her off.
Yeah, and it's like
somebody cuts her off in traffic. Like
so. You didn't think that far, but you think that far to tell me which parking lot to get in and which lane to get in.
Anthony don't know how to let stuff down. Man, Anthony don't know how to let stuff down.
Because you know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna. I'm gonna go drive today, and it might happen again.
No, she's not. She's gonna be like, well.
That's all I want. That's actually all I want. So I'm cool. Let me drive. Okay, let me drive and be happy. Be happy and let me drive. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Unpack Your Bag Podcast. This is really fun. We got to get some of the bag unpacked of personal and direct, direct stuff and direct stuff. So yeah, until next time, you guys want to see some more craziness, log on to the channel, subscribe, put your name in there, and give me a good comment about what I want to talk about next time, because I don't got nothing right now. Just joking. Anyways,
he's not.
I really know. I actually do have a lot of topics.
He's not joking.
Okay, I'm actually joking.
I'm just kidding.
I get a lot of topics. Anyways, all right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much, Chantel. I appreciate you coming out again, doing this. We're gonna do it again and keep on
unpacking.
For sure. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace, love, and hair grease. Talk to you soon. And go ahead and cuss on the way out.
How you feeling? How you living? Yeah. How you feeling? How you chilling? Well, alright. From the floor to the ceiling, everyone in the building, if you feeling alright. Well, alright. How you loving? How you eating? Yeah. How you moving? How you breathing? Well, alright. From the floor to the ceiling, everyone in the building, if you feeling alright. Well, alright.